Hello and welcome to Analysis. I am Abisola Adebayo. The rise in the wave of insecurity across the country has become an issue of concern for all and sundry, as everywhere in the country is no longer safe. This unfortunate situation that's become so alarming has prompted action from some of the legislators in the National Assembly. On Wednesday, the minority caucus in the Senate issued a damning ultimatum to President Muhammadu Buhari. They asked the president to address the deteriorating security situation in Nigeria within the next 6 weeks or face impeachment. The ultimatum came after the Senate Minority Leader Philip Aduda led a walkout of senators from the main opposition People's Democratic Party (PDP) from the plenary after they were shut down by the Senate President Ahmed Lawan. Speaking to journalists, the senators explained that the country is currently in serious trouble and something must be done urgently, which is why they have issued the ultimatum to President Muhammadu Buhari. In its reaction to the impeachment ultimatum, the federal government says it is working round the clock to combat the security challenges in the country, saying Nigeria is not the only country with such problems. President Buhari has even convened a meeting of the country's security chiefs to obviously find a solution to the insecurity bedeviling the nation. Well, joining me on the program to discuss this further is legal practitioner Tunji Abdelhamid. Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Mr. Abdelhamid. Let me start by asking what you make of the lawmakers' move threatening to impeach President Buhari over the issue of insecurity. Do you think these opposition lawmakers even have the numbers to start with?
Well, to start with, they may not have the number. They have the number to initiate the process. But they may not have the number to eventually have the president impeached. So the point is that, do they have the right to do that? Is it within their constitutional power to impeach the president?
Right.
The answer is yes. They have the power under Section 143 to move for impeachment of the president, where there's a misconduct on the part of the president. In other words, where there's an allegation of gross misconduct against Mr. President. And in the Constitution, gross misconduct has been defined as violation of the Constitution. And if you look at Section 14 of the Constitution, it says the major responsibility of government is provision of security and the welfare. So and the president is the commander-in-chief of armed forces. In other words, is the one in charge of security. So as it is today, look at the security situation in our country today. It is clear that the government has failed in terms of providing security for us. So in that regard, they have a grant to say we want to impeach the Mr. President, and it is well within their power to do so.
You know, the Section 149 of the Constitution, it states that only on the grounds of gross misconduct can a president be impeached. You know, but in this instance, President Buhari says he has done everything possible. He has disbursed funds, changed the security chiefs, he even got more arms to combat insecurity. Would you still say that the argument of gross misconduct counts because the security challenge still persists?
Of course, the Constitution did not say make efforts to provide security. He said provision of security and welfare. He didn't say efforts, that the government, the responsibility of the government is to make efforts. No, that's not what the Constitution says. The Constitution says it's security and welfare of the people. In other words, you must secure the people. You must provide security for us. In as much as we are not able to provide the security, well, no matter what effort you have done, will not materialize. In other words, you have not done enough to perform towards your responsibility.
But you know, to be fair on the president now, he has actually made effort. He has done everything possible, if you ask me, because there's a lot of money allocated to the country's security.
I'm not disputing that he has made effort. I said effort is not enough. It's not only about effort. It's about results. If I employ you, if you employ me, and I'm doing my effort working from mainland to island, and I'm not able to make bring any results. As far as you are concerned, I've not done anything. So it's not about the effort; it's about the results. So have we gotten the results? No. So as much as we have not been able to get results, no matter what effort the president has put in place, that effort will not be good enough. Yeah. And as far as I'm even concerned, it appears the president has reached his peak. In other words, he has said, according to Garuba Shehu, that the president has done enough and more than enough within his power. In other words, he has exhausted his efforts. So he cannot achieve anything again. So if you can, that means the capacity is no longer there. So as far as I'm concerned, there's gross misconduct. That's not the only reason why president should be impeached. There are so many things that president have done that you remember in 2000 before in the 8th assembly. Although we are talking about the 9th assembly now.
Yeah.
The Tucano jet was bought outside the budget. So many some circumstances where for example, again, CCBN governor are making an effort to contest election. The president has not taken any steps to say, look, this governor has breached his code of conduct, and therefore we want him relief. The president has assigned jobs to people. They have not been able to bring results, and none of them has been sacked or sanctioned. Recently, Kuje was attacked, and then nobody has been asked to come and answer any query or even a sanction. And we are told 44 intelligence reports were submitted, and nobody is being questioned. So as far as I'm concerned, that's gross misconduct. That's violation of your rights. You are not up to your responsibility.
So you're saying, in essence, now that the next thing, the final thing to actually do is to impeach President Buhari.
That is the only way to put the president on his toes. If you want to, in fact, it's long overdue. If they have been doing this before now, maybe we will not be where we are today. But you see, I'm not saying they'll be able to impeach the president. They may not be able to achieve their impeachment because they will not have the number. Because in Nigeria, we don't operate based on what's on ground. We operate based on sentiment. You know what? By the time they want to start that impeachment process now, you will see people coming out and say it's our party member. In other words, rather than have national interest attached, what will be the interest that will be having attached is either ethnic, religious, or party sentiment. In other words, we are in Nigeria whereby they believe party loyalty is greater than is more than the national loyalty. We are in a country whereby members of the party believe their own interest to perceive the national interest. So, as far as I'm concerned, in that circumstance, they will not be able to impeach because the number required to initiate proceeding for impeachment is just 1/3 of member, and the PDP and the other minority party will make that number. In fact, we can even have more numbers from members of APC who are not happy with the party or who are not happy with the system. So they can also join them. So they can have that initiation. To initiate just 1/3, but to impeach you must have 2/3 of majority members of members of the National Assembly. And I doubt if they can be able to gather that 2/3. By the time they will start that impeachment now, you will see people coming out to say, "I stand with Mr. President." Placard will be flying all over, pro and against. So in that regard, they will, and again, there's not even the time may not even be enough to be able to do it because we are entering the election campaign by September. So most of them may not even have time to be able to do that, and they're going on research for 6 months, for how many weeks, and by the time they come back, there won't be time. But to me, it's a good effort. You know that will at least put the president on his toes and let him realize that, look, I have a job to protect.
But then would you not say that this threat by the lawmakers is actually coming really late, and then they even said after 6 weeks, which means they are going on recess, and by the time they are done with the recess, they want President Muhammadu Buhari to have done something? How would you exactly react to this?
It's an attempt to just mellow down the issue. In other words, they are aware that they may not be able to impeach the president, but they want to put the president on his top, and that is why they are trying to do that. So by between that 6 weeks, what they are saying that if we do this 6 weeks, the president don't do anything, and you can see after they are trying to get Mr. President call a meeting of security, whatever, it's called a security meeting. In other words, it's looking into the issue. So in other words, we need to do more, and the president needs to do more than what he's doing now. So we have to to me, it may be late. To me, it may not be able to achieve it. There is an effort to put the president on his toes. That is their job. Their job is to check the president, is to check the executive, is to balance the situation in the country. So if they are waking up to that responsibility now, so be it. It's good for me as far as I'm concerned. But they are also not. They are also culprits. They are also part of this of the problem because they've been sleeping all this while. Now that they are waking up, thank God for them. I doubt if they'll be able to achieve that result.
But you know, on the part of the president, what do you think he needs to do now that the lawmakers have actually threatened impeachment, even though they may not be able to carry it out? What exactly does President Muhammadu Buhari needs to do to calm this situation?
the president need to rise up to the situation. You know, we have a president that is always like a when issue happen. That's my take. Whenever we have an issue, the president will not will relax and sit as if nothing is happening. You can remember the day the Korea was attacked. The president traveled that same day. The few days ago when that brigade was attacked, he traveled the same day.
But so during the Kuje prison attack, he came back. He actually came back from Daura to Abuja to check.
Should he travel on that day? Should he travel thereafter? Should he travel? Some people in other countries, people that are abroad, they will come back home to say my house is burning. Our president is going out when the house is burning. So as far as I'm concerned, again, you see, issue will be people who will be we talk about 44 reports. Nobody has been called to question to say what happened. Why did you not act on these reports? And as long as the president refuse to sack or even blame people, they will not take him serious. So those he has appointed to help him in achieving his results, if they are not doing their job and you're not sanctioning them, they're not punishing them, things will continue to go bad because people will see him as he can't do nothing and nothing will happen. Whether we work or not, the president will not say anything. So as far as I'm concerned, the president is not doing enough. He's not supervising enough. He's not checking his people. He's not willing the big what's it called armor to ensure that I will get a result in terms of security. So as far as I'm concerned, he has a lot to do. He's the commander in chief of our forces. In fact, he should be in front of the ball. So and that was the promise he made to us, that he will be in front. I will not be at the back.
But he's actually in front. You know, he would not go into the front.
He's not in front. He's not in front as far as I'm concerned. A world leader doesn't stay back at home and start and relax and start and just sitting down and looking at his people until something happens.
All right.
When there's nothing will happen again. Or as long as there's no issue, you will not see Mr. President say anything. Even when there's an issue, Mr. President will relax until that issue becomes crisis. You see ASU crisis, ASU strike. It's been on for how many months? It's just 2 weeks ago, last week, Mr. President is giving them 2 weeks ultimatum. What has he done all this while? What is it? What is the need? If he has called the ASU and say, please come and talk to me, what is happening? The president will not do anything. The president will just behave like anemia.
Right.
He won't go anywhere. I'm not sure the president has even gone through visited any visited in this country since he became the president over 7 years ago. You don't work like that. The president is not doing his job very well.
Well, we really hope this would serve as a wake-up call to President Muhammadu Buhari to, you know, be up and doing. Well, Mr. Tunji Abdelhamid, thank you so much for joining us on the program, and thank you for your insights. Well, we take a break now, and when we return, we'll have another guest on the show to further discuss the impeachment move by the lawmakers. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching Analysis on TV 360 Nigeria, and we're discussing the ultimatum given to President Muhammadu Buhari by the Senate Minority Caucus. They are asking him to find a lasting solution to Nigeria's insecurity challenges in 6 weeks or face impeachment. Well, to continue the conversation, I have with me on the program Jide Ojo, who is a political affairs analyst. Mr. Jide Ojo, thank you so much for joining us on the program. First, I'd like to get your reaction to the move by the minority lawmakers to impeach President Buhari if he does not significantly tackle the issue of insecurity bedeviling the country.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. It's long overdue for the president to buckle up or face sanction from the populace. And the option that has been given by the senator from the minority parties in the National Assembly, particularly the Senate, is even a soft landing, because if you say we are going to impeach you, that is even next to resignation. Then, of course, we saw what happened in Sri Lanka recently, where the president was chased out of the presidential villa and had to take refuge in another country. However, I agree that the security situation of this country is very, very there and needs concerted effort. However, however, I believe impeachment is not right at this point in time. The reason being that if you one, it's not going to even fly because this is not a bipartisan move. This is from the minority party. And we know what the procedures are to impeach a president. You need two-thirds majority of both chambers, and then you even need to constitute committee that will look at the offenses and all of that. So it's not going to be like a walk in the park. It's going to be
Difficult.
very difficult to achieve. And this is the more reason why the national chairman of APC did everything humanly possible to stall the movement of the aggrieved members of the APC in the National Assembly from moving to the opposition. Right. Because I believe that they are able to, the opposition is now in the majority, then definitely this threat of impeachment can be taken serious. But in as well as APC is still in the majority in both the Senate and House of Representatives, this will not fly. However, I am of the opinion that a tree does not make a forest. And no matter what the laxity or whatever the president may have done, we are in the electionary period, and I think he should just be allowed to serve out the remainder of his tenure, which is less than 1 year. If there is an impeachment on him now, there could be ethnic and religious connotation to it, and that may be a recipe for anarchy. Because we know how emotive people are with issue of religion and ethnicity. So if you impeach Muhammadu Buhari, how would the northern Nigeria take it?
Yes.
Then how would the Muslim community take it? Because if you impeach the president, the person in line to take over from him is his vice president, who is a Christian, who is from the south. And of course, APC had already agreed that power should shift to the south. And that's why the standard bearer of APC in the next presidential election is a Yoruba man. So I think it's not auspicious for us to impeach the president at this point. Not that he has performed. I'm only saying that the situation on ground will worsen. It could be a recipe for national disorder and anarchy if he's impeached. But that is just an academic exercise. Like I told you, it's not going to fly. It's more or less a grandstanding on the part of the minority members of the Senate. Because, come to think of it, what has the National Assembly done even to help in curbing insecurity in this country? What have they done? They have committees in the National Assembly that are supposed to oversight the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the police, and other security agencies. What has been the feedback that they get from this oversight visit?
But you know, the lawmakers are saying, that they have suggested different steps for the president to take, but he's possibly not listening to them.
Well, they may say that, but we also remember that the National Assembly requested that the service chiefs should be replaced, and the president replaced them last year. But as the situation improved, then even assuming without considering that you want to even impeach the president, if you impeach the president today and you replace him with his vice, or you remove the two of them, that means the next in line will be the president of the Senate, who can only be in acting capacity. So you are going to have to run another presidential election ahead of 2023. Where is the cost? Where is the money to run that? So I think on the surface of it, it cannot work. It's just grandstanding. And I believe the National Assembly themselves are only feeling the heat now because they are no longer safe like the rest of us. For many years, they've not done the needful because they have police escorts, they have military escorts, and they felt they are safe in Abuja, even though many of them could not go to their constituencies. But now they know that Abuja that they have taken as their home now, there is no respite for them, and they could actually be the target of kidnappers and bandits. So what I would suggest, rather than impeachment, is for all and sundry, the 36 governors, the local government chairpersons, all the political architecture in this country to come together and fashion a long-lasting solution. A tree does not make a forest. We have 11,082 political offices in Nigeria. If you just remove only the president, the problem will persist. I don't know whether on this medium, but in 2019, we had a former EFCC chairman who said that some governors promoting security in their states in order to justify the collection of security votes and even to demand for a rise in the amount they collect as security votes, which then means that the government is divided. We have those who are pushing and there are those who are pulling. If that statement credited to Ibrahim Magu is correct, which is available online, it then means that the solution to the insecurity of this country does not lie with only federal government. The state and local government also have complementary role to play. And that is why I feel the National Assembly should have made it a point of duty to legislate state police. This is where they are also complicit. If we have state police that says, okay, any state that has the financial muscle, the financial wherewithal to have a state police should just follow these guidelines and parameters and establish. I'm sure Lagos, Cross River, Rivers, Kano, and some other states will have had their own state police now. Look at how the Southwest governors decided to have Amotekun. Even when initially the Attorney General and Minister of Justice kicked against it, a superior argument made him to buckle, and at the end of the day, we have Amotekun in place in the Southwest. And what has happened with the rest of the country? Because the boundaries of these zones and these states are very artificial. You don't know when you move from Lagos to Ogun, when you move from Ogun to Oyo. It's just maybe a river that is separating them. So concerted effort is needful to solve the problem of insecurity in this state. So even when, for the sake of argument and for an academic purpose, even if you remove the president today, you will not be solving the problem of insecurity, because there is more to solving the problem than just removing just one individual. You need more resources, you need technology, you need even welfare for the security agencies. You need to recruit more personnel, and even to buy the technological equipment that you need to fight insecurity does not come cheap. And you need even international support, help, because our boundaries are very porous and we have smuggling in of small arms and light weapons. So, long story short, it's not just the removal of the president that will solve the problem of insecurity in Nigeria.
Right. You know, Mr. Ojo, a sitting president has never been impeached in Nigeria's history, and this step by the minority lawmakers, what exactly is it going to mean for the country's democracy?
They are just exercising their right as a lawmaker. They have every right to make the move, but I'm saying it's an exercise in futility. It's dead on arrival. I would only have been very concerned, so to speak, if it were to be the position of the Nigerian Senate, in which case it's a bipartisan move between both the majority and the minority groups in the National Assembly. So if it's a position of the Nigerian Senate, and even if it's the position of Nigerian Senate and the House of Reps does not go along with it, you cannot remove, only the Senate of Nigeria cannot remove the president.
Some members of the House of Representatives, they've actually also started making moves to support the senators now.
Like you rightly pointed out, my sister, it's not only, it's not under this regime that we have had threats by the National Assembly to impeach the president. It happened under Obasanjo, possibly under Goodluck Jonathan, but it's just an empty threat. It's not so easy to remove the president of a country. And like I said, the National Assembly itself is complicit. They have the right of oversight. How much of oversight have they done on the MDAs that are responsible for security of this country? They have held a couple of security summits, but this is a summit that they held without inviting the executive. They were not working in cahoots with the executive. So, of course, the executive has every right to cherry pick what to take and what not to take in whatever suggestions they have made. But for instance, if issues of accountability and transparency have been taken very serious, the National Assembly should have been able to probe the funds that have been voted for fighting insecurity in this country. Like Samuel Orton of Benue is talking about the $1 billion that was earmarked for fight against insecurity in December of 2017. How was that money expended? We knew what happened under the Goodluck Jonathan administration, where $2.1 billion was mismanaged over the re-election bid of Mr. President then, and also stolen by some of the service chiefs and the chief of defense staff then. So by and large, we are facing not only the issue of insecurity, there is also a nexus between insecurity and corruption, because where you fail to account for even the budget that you get or make a judicious use of that resources, you are also complicit. And the National Assembly is the one that can order probe, that can also go on oversight on this money to say, how have you expended these resources that have been earmarked for you? Oh. And that they have not done. Issue of state police, they have been playing politics with that, moving here and there. We never knew where they stand on issue of state police, and we need state police if you want to make impact in the fight against insecurity.
Well, I'm afraid that's how much we can take on the program today. Mr. Ajidiojo, thank you so much for joining us on the program, and thank you very much for your insights. Well, that's all on analysis for this week. Thank you very much for joining us on the program. I am Abisola Adebayo.